Được rồi, 2 trên 2, đông. Bây giờ chúng ta sẽ thảo luận về một trong những cuộc thực tập quan trọng và nghiêm túc nhất trên tàu, thực tập vào không gian kín và cứu hộ. Đây không phải là một cuộc thực tập về sức mạnh hay tốc độ, mà là về sự tuân thủ quy trình một cách tuyệt đối, sai một ly, đi một mạng. Lịch sử hàng hải đã ghi nhận vô số tai nạn thương tâm chỉ vì người ta bỏ qua một bước trong quy trình, hoặc cố gắng làm người hùng đi cứu đồng đội mà không có sự chuẩn bị. Mục tiêu của chúng ta là đảm bảo không một ai trong đội tàu MV CREWVN phải đi vào vết xe đổ đó. Alright, 2 trên 2, dong. We will now discuss one of the most important and serious drills on board, enclosed space entry and rescue drill. This is not a drill about strength or speed, it is about absolute, uncompromising adherence to procedure. One wrong step can be fatal. Maritime history is filled with tragic accidents that happen simply because someone skipped a step in the procedure, or tried to be a hero and rescue a shipmate without proper preparation. Our goal is to ensure no one on the MV CREWVN ever makes that mistake. 1. Mục đích và tầm quan trọng. Mỗi nguy hiểm trong không gian kín thường là vô hình, thiếu oxy, khí độc, khí dễ cháy. Anh không thể thấy, không thể ngửi được cho đến khi quá muộn. Vì vậy, quy trình chính là mạng sống của anh. The dangers in an enclosed space are often invisible. Lack of oxygen, toxic gases, flammable gases. You cannot see them, you cannot smell them until it is too late. Therefore, the procedure is your lifeline. Ngăn chặn tử vong, mục đích số 1 là rèn luyện cho mọi người thói quen không bao giờ đi vào một không gian kín mà chưa tuân thủ đầy đủ các bước chuẩn bị, đặc biệt là việc thông gió và độ khí. The number one goal is to train everyone in the habit of never entering an enclosed space without following all preparatory steps, especially ventilation and atmosphere testing. Thực hành quy trình giấy phép, đảm bảo mọi sĩ quan và thuyền viên hiểu rõ và biết cách sử dụng giấy phép làm việc trong không gian kín. Đây là một văn bản pháp lý, không phải giấy tờ thủ tục. To ensure all officers and crew understand and know how to use the permit to work for enclosed space entry. This is a legal document, not just a piece of administrative paper. Rèn luyện kỹ năng cứu hộ, chuẩn bị cho tình huống xấu nhất. Đảm bảo đội cứu hộ biết cách sử dụng các thiết bị chuyên dụng như máy thở SCBA, cáng, tối cứu hộ, giá ba chân để đưa người bị nạn ra ngoài một cách an toàn mà không tự đặt mình vào nguy hiểm. To prepare for the worst case scenario. To ensure the rescue team knows how to use specialized equipment like SCBAs, stretchers, rescue winches, tripods to safely extract a casualty without endangering themselves. Tuân thủ, SOLAS. Chương 3, Quy định 19 yêu cầu các cuộc thực tập vào không gian kín và cứu hộ phải được tiến hành ít nhất mỗi 2 tháng một lần, nhưng SMS của các công ty tốt thường yêu cầu hàng tháng. SOLAS Chapter 3, Regulation 19 requires enclosed space entry and rescue drills to be conducted at least once every 2 months, but the SMS of good companies often mandates it monthly. Assignment of responsibilities is a crucial step. The roles in this procedure are strictly defined and are not interchangeable. The person with authority, usually the chief officer or chief engineer, depending on which department the enclosed space belongs to, is responsible for assessing risks, filling out, and signing the work permit. The entrant is the person or team who will physically enter the space to perform the work. The attendant or standby man holds the most critical role. This person must remain outside the entrance at all times, maintain communication with the entrant or entrants, and must never enter under any circumstances. In the event of an emergency, their sole duty is to raise the alarm. The rescue team leader, usually an officer like the second officer or the bosun, takes charge of the rescue team when the alarm is raised. The recorder, typically the competent person such as the chief officer or chief engineer, is responsible for completing and filing the permit to work, as well as making the logbook entry. Safety is not an option, it is a requirement. CREWVN only works with crew members who understand and respect the strictest safety procedures. Your professionalism is the guarantee for your own safety and that of your team. For further assistance, you can contact Ms. Thu at 03-268-06954, Ms. Ngọc at 094111-3080, or Ms. Hoàng Anh at 0779268188. The practical onboard implementation procedure consists of two distinct parts: practicing the safe entry procedure and practicing the rescue procedure. Part 1 is the safe entry procedure drill. Step 1 is scenario and permit preparation. The chief officer presents the scenario. We need to enter the four-peak tank to inspect its structural condition. The chief officer then leads a toolbox meeting and, together with the relevant personnel, fills out the enclosed space entry permit. The most important items are reviewed, such as how long the space has been ventilated, whether pumps and pipelines have been isolated, what the communication plan is, and if rescue equipment has been prepared and placed at the entrance. Step 2 is atmosphere testing. This is a life or death step. The competent person uses a multi-gas meter to test the tank's atmosphere from the outside at various depths, top, middle, and bottom. The safety readings must be oxygen between 20.9 and 21%, combustible gases at 0% lower explosive limit, and toxic gases like hydrogen sulfide and carbon monoxide at 0 parts per million or below the permissible limit. The readings are recorded on the permit. If the readings are not acceptable, ventilation must continue and the space must be retested. Step 3 is execution. The attendant takes their position. The entrant puts on a full body harness, checks their radio and light. The permit is signed. The entrant proceeds, maintaining constant communication with the attendant, for example, reporting every 2 minutes. The drill can conclude here with the entrant exiting the enclosed space safely. The permit is then closed. Part 2 is the rescue procedure drill. Step 1 is scenario activation. The scenario is announced. The attendant calls the entrant on the radio, but there is no response. Step 2 is raising the alarm. The attendant immediately raises the alarm by shouting, using a whistle, or following the ship's procedure and informs the bridge. It is important to reiterate, the attendant must never enter. Step 3 is rescue team deployment. The pre-designated rescue team assembles at the scene. They quickly don their self-contained breathing apparatus. No one enters a suspected hazardous atmosphere without a breathing apparatus. They set up rescue equipment like the tripod and winch over the entrance. Step 4 is executing the rescue. 2 rescuers, wearing SCBAs, enter, carrying a stretcher and necessary equipment. They reach the casualty, secure them onto the stretcher, and attach them to the winch line. The team outside hoists the casualty out. The drill concludes by simulating initial first aid. Step 5 is logging. The following is recorded in the ship's logbook. Monthly enclosed space entry and rescue drill carried out. Scenario entry into four-peak tank. Entry permit procedures and gas checks were practiced. Subsequently, a rescue of an unconscious person using a dummy was simulated. Rescue team donned SCBAs and extracted the casualty using a tripod, winch, and stretcher. Drill concluded with a debriefing.